In Formula 1, there are 5 tyre compounds, 3 for dry conditions and 2 for the wet. The dry tyres are the soft, the medium and the hard. And in the wet conditions, the tyres are the intermediate and of course the full wet tyres. Now it doesn't make much sense to be using the wet tyres when the track is dry, but we're going to try that in today's video anyway. We're going to try against 0% AI and see if we can take Lando Norris, the F1 driver who seems to be allergic to winning races, to the checkered flag in first position to see if we can get him to win a race using the wet tyres when the track is dry. Let's get into it. Getting into this video then, as Lando Norris in our McLaren, we're going to be starting from the back of the grid against 0% AI to try and make this challenge as difficult as we can for ourselves. Annoyingly, the F1 game doesn't allow you to start on the wet tyres when the track is dry, so we're going to have one lap on these soft tyres before we go straight into the pits and change onto the wet tyres. The lights are away and we get a really good start here in the McLaren against 0% AI. That is going to be a given, and you will see in the duration of this video how bad the 0% AI is. We nearly kill ourselves already in going kind of into the first corner, having a little bit of a collision with Esteban Ocon, and just look now how slow this AI is. We're having to lift out of this corner which is easily flat, and we get a double overtake there on Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez. Carlos Sainz on the hard tyre, he's going to be vulnerable, and we make nearly a triple over, that literally 4 cars in one corner. And we're up into 6th place now. I'll make that 5th place, and it looks like it's going to be 4th place as well. We've made up 16 places nearly in about 4 corners. That's just how slow the 0% AI is. But Yuki Tsunoda actually having a little look on our outside, but we make that move stick, and he isn't able to defend from us. And we're trying to get a look now on Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. There's a yellow flag further back, and just look how we breeze past Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton. For some reason, the 0% AI has really low straight line speed in this game, so you're going to be seeing it a lot in this video where it's going to be blitzing past the AI on the straights and look how we get past Max Verstappen. And you know what, for once in his life, Lando Norris has actually passed Max Verstappen, and he might actually have a chance of winning this race. As Lando Norris now, we're going to come into the pits and put on the wet tyres when the track is dry. Something he should have done in Russia, he should have put the wet tyres on, and that ultimately cost him the win. So we're going to try and see now if we can give him a little bit of redemption now, but using the wet tyres on a dry track. That's a pretty decent stop forwards there, 2.4 seconds, and we're going to come out right at the back of the field. With how slow the 0% AI is, we should very quickly find ourselves now back at the front of the pack. But the question is now, are we going to be able to take these wet tyres to the end of the race, or are we going to have to stop one more time, and are the tyres going to get a little bit too worn for us now, as we're going back now onto the back of Logan Sargent in the Williams. It's only taken us a few corners now to get rejoined with a pack, and we're going to make a move now on the outside of the Williams driver. Beautiful move there from us, and you can see the high temperatures now in the left and the right corners of the steering wheel. We are just kind of a little bit below where the tyres want to be, but after a few laps for sure these tyres are going to start overheating, so we need to make sure that we can manage the temperatures of these tyres and make sure we don't wear them out too much, because once the wet tyres get overheated, it is very hard to bring the temperatures back down, and ultimately that is going to cost us a lot in terms of tyres and speed. We're going to be losing a lot of grip. But for now, the grip seems to be working in our favour as we make a move down the inside of Lance Stroll, coming into the hairpin now, and we're going to be having a look now on of Kevin Magnussen, and we're going to make a very late move, but he gets out of our way, and we are up into now 16th place with the fastest lap of the race, and currently the fastest first sector now on this lap. And we have a lot of battery to play with now, and DRS. We're going to be gaining now on our old teammate Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to try and make a move now down the inside of the AlphaTauri driver, and we make that move stick, but we go a little bit deep coming into the corner now, and Ricciardo trying to have a look down our inside, but we make that move stick, and we're going to try and make a move around the outside now off the Alfa Romeo of Zhou Guanyu, and we just aren't able to make that move stick. We go a little bit off track now, pushing the tyres much more than they need to be pushed, as we go a little bit wide into that corner now. Daniel Ricciardo has a little look once again for our inside. We aren't able to shake him off just yet. For a good exit now out of his penultimate corner, we can slowly see the AlphaTauri driver now vanishing into the distance, and look at this big train ahead of us now. We're at the back of this train now with Zhou Guanyu, and we're going to try and make a move around down the inside of Zhou Guanyu, coming into turn 1 now. Oh, and we've made contact with the Alfa Romeo driver. What on earth has happened there? That is absolutely not what we need in our charge to try and win the race. Having a look at what's happened here now, we just looks like we come across the Alfa Romeo driver just a little bit, and that's ultimately sent us into the barriers now, and we are pretty much now back down in last place. But we are going to be in last for long. We make an audacious dive on one Nico Hulkenberg, and that one really did not work out. We nearly lose the rear of the car sliding all over the place. The tyres now screaming for help. We're already on 25% tyre wear, and you can see now how worn the tyres are, how much the tyres are overheating. So it's going to be very hard now to try and stop the car and to try and keep the car pointing in the right direction on the road. As we're gaining now on Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, are we able to make a move down the inside in the penultimate corner? Yes, we are. We make a beautiful move on Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, and we are now gaining on Kevin Magnussen as we go down the inside, coming into the hairpin now. It's very hard to get the car stopping. You can see a little bit there that we locked the rear axle. Coming up now to the back of Daniel Ricciardo, we're going to make a dive bomb coming into the chicane now. A clean move on the AlphaTauri driver, and we are now up into P15 and trying for a look once again on Joe Guan Yu, the driver that we clashed with a few laps ago. And we just need to make sure his move is clean. And look at this, look how many cars are in front of us now. There's about 4 cars there, but we just have to let off ever so slightly. As we run into the back of Joe Guan Yu there, we have to lift off ever so slightly just to make sure we can make it through there cleanly. And we will follow his train of cars now as we get a huge tank slapper coming out of the final few corners there. And Daniel Ricciardo on the AlphaTauri, he slips back up our inside and he tries to make a move coming into the final corner now, but we're able to hold him off on the outside. And how much wheel spin we have now, definitely these wet tyres are feeling the signs of wear, and they are definitely now overheating as we nearly lose the car once again, and we need to maybe calm down a little bit and cool the tyres down. But it's just so hard to do that as we lock up the rear axle again, trying to stop the car at the hairpin, and we barely get that move done on Joe Guan Yu. But we're going to get it done now with the help of DRS, and we're going to try now to gain on the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. But maybe are we too far back to think about a dive bomb on the Ferrari driver? And no, we're not. We make a move down the inside for 13th place, and it's now Esteban Ocon in the Alpine ahead of us, along with Sergio Perez in the Red Bull, and we're gaining now on Esteban Ocon. And look how much our tyres are overheating now. We are nearly on 100 degrees, which is just way too much tyre heat, and we're going to slipping and sliding all over the place as you have been seeing in the last few laps, and we just aren't able to follow the Alpine driver through the set of corners. Our tyres are not wanting to cooperate with us, and they are screaming in pain. We are having way too much force being put on our tyres, and we make a move on the inside of Esteban Ocon there. We get a good exit, much better than he did, and we are now coming up to the back of the Red Bull of Sergio Perez, and very soon we might have to think about coming into the pits, because I don't think we're going to be able to finish the race on these tyres that are definitely wearing much more quickly than we anticipated, and very soon we might be in the territory of getting a puncture. So we have to think a little bit now about our strategy and when we're going to be coming into the pits. But as we are thinking about that, we also will be thinking about making a move on Sergio Perez down the inside into the hairpin. Great move there on lap 7 of this race, coming into now 11th place, and we are behind our teammate Oscar Piastri. A few drivers now have pitted at the start of his lap, and we are now running in P6 behind our teammate in P5, and we make a move on our teammate now down the inside, coming into a hairpin once again. That is a really good overtaking zone for us, and we might be coming in this lap now. We have to consider when we are going to be coming into the pits, as we are now running in first place, Max Verstappen, and the rest of the drivers have came in, and Verstappen is pitted for the medium tyres. And I think very soon we will be, and yes, we make the call, we will be coming into the pits for slap, and just we are not going to be able to finish the race on this set of tyres. And look, now we barely even able to get the car in the pit lane without having so much wheel spin, and this needs to be a clean stop for us. We are going to come out maybe in around 5th place in the top 10, I can imagine. So we just need to make sure that we release the clutch at the perfect time, and yes, that is another good stop from the McLaren pit crew. And you can see on the mini-map now that big massive train of cars. So we're going to come out in a huge heap of traffic now, and we're going to have to navigate our way through that traffic. There are 5 laps left of this race, and we have nearly 15 positions to make up. We're going to be coming out, it looks like, in P10, so we have 10 positions to make up now if we want to win this race and take the fight to Max Verstappen. And if only a few corners in, we are right on the gearbox of Charles Leclerc for 9th place. We make a move down the inside, we think about it, but we commit to the move, and we get past the Ferrari driver. And we are now right on the back end of this huge train of drivers now, as we are making sure we get a good exit with DRS, and we are right on the tail now of Pierre Gasly. Where we're going to go, to the inside or we choose the outside, as we get very, very close to the Alpine driver there, as we make a move now coming into this long left-handing corner, as we slip down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda, and that is very crucial for us. 2 moves made in 1 corner, and we are now running in 7th place with 5 laps left to go in this race, and there is still a big train of cars ahead of us now that we need to get past as soon as possible. We do not want to be sitting in the dirty air of these cars any longer than we need to be, as we are getting a good exit now, coming out of the penultimate corner, thinking about a move on George Russell. We make a move around the outside. That was a very risky move as George Russell comes back down our inside, but we fend him off very carefully, as we are now chasing Alex Albon on the soft tyres. Our wet tyres are actually for once in decent temperature, so before our tyres are going to start overheating, we need to take advantage of it and make these moves now while our tyres are still in good condition, as we make a double move coming into a hairpin now, and we are now in 4th place, right on the back of Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo. And this is going to be a very easy move for us, using DRS and ERS as we touch wheels with Valtteri Bottas a little bit there, being very aggressive with the Alfa Romeo driver. But we make a move now before we even get to the chicane, and there are 2 cars left in front of us. Lewis Hamilton, who's nearly half a second ahead, and Max Verstappen 7 seconds ahead, as we set the fastest lap of the race. So there's 7 seconds between ourselves and Verstappen, and only 3 laps left of this race. So realistically, we need to be going around 2 seconds a lap quicker than Max Verstappen, the reigning world champion, and that is going to be a very tall order for us indeed. As we get past Lewis Hamilton, he tries to sneak back down our inside. We're going to go wheel to wheel now, coming around this hairpin, as we manage to get past the 7-time world champion. And you can see like after Max Verstappen coming down now, we are on the penultimate lap of this race, as we have another huge moment there. We just about managed to hang on to the car, and we are very, very close now to the DRS of the Red Bull driver. And coming into the chicane now, we're going to make a move on Verstappen, and that was way too late for us now. We locked up our tyres, and crucially our tyres started to overheat now, and that was a very late move for us, very clumsy move, as we're trying now just to get the car back up to speed, which is very hard because we have so much wheel spin, and we're gaining now on Max Verstappen with DRS, and surely we are too far to make a move now coming into this long left-hander, but we're going to stick with the Red Bull driver, following him now onto the short straight, and we're going to sit in the slipstream as the car just does not want to cooperate with us, as once again we have to fight off the oversteer, as we're now coming under a hotel now, and there's going to be 1 more lap left of racing in Abu Dhabi, very similar now to Abu Dhabi 2021, 1 lap to decide a very important race for us, as we are now nearly half a second behind Max Verstappen, coming into the penultimate corner now, as we nearly lose the car again, and that is not what we want to be doing with 1 lap left of this race. We were in the DRS of Verstappen, and we have now slipped out of that magic 1 second, but very quickly we are going to get back in. Yes, we are already back in that magic 1 second of the Red Bull driver, and we are now hunting him down. We can see him right ahead of us, and we need to be thinking about now where we're going to make a move, and not making a silly move like we did last time, thinking about where we can make this move and where we can make it stick. We are way too far back to make a move into this hairpin now, but we can think about now with DRS and using some of our battery, which we haven't been too good in saving. We don't have too much battery left, but we should have enough to try and make a move on Verstappen now coming into the chicane, but we want to be a little bit smart about it. If we make a move on Verstappen coming into the chicane, he will get the DRS on us on the exit, and we think about it, we're being smart here and we're staying behind the Red Bull driver, so that way he does not get DRS coming onto us for the second straight, and instead we're going to have the double DRS now, and that's going to play into our hands beautifully. Look how much we're gaining now on the Red Bull driver. Which way are we going to go, to the inside or to the outside? We choose the outside, we dummy back Verstappen, as we're trying to make a move around the outside of the hairpin. We lock up a little bit and we go way too wide into that corner, but we cut under Verstappen, and we are now alongside, coming into the double right-hander now, as we get past Verstappen, crucially for the lead of this race, but Verstappen shoots back down our inside, and is that the winning move for this race? This tricky technical part of the track now, you can't make an overtake here, it's way too hard, and it looks like Verstappen might have made the race winning move, but look at the exit that we've got. We make a move down the inside on the final lap of this race. Verstappen is not having any of it. He tries to get past us on our outside, but we fend Verstappen off, and he managed to win this race on the wet weather tyres. What a drive.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
and what to drive out was from us, and it is possible, guys. You can win on the wet weather tyres against the 0% AI. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more F1 23 challenges, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos.